everyone. We're back here. We're live at Qualys ROCon, our day 2 coverage. I'm really happy to have my friend Jim Reavis sitting here with me. For those of you who don't know Jim, and if you've been in the security world, you should know Jim. But Jim was the founder, co-founder of the Cloud Security Alliance, 2005 or 2006?
That's 2008. There you go. I was thinking about it before that. Yeah. So, I'm kind of slow on the draw.
That was at RSA when we had the meeting at RSA. It was 2008.
Yeah.
I always thought it was, I guess in the midst of time, it's gotten pushed back further. 2008. For Jim, still, it's been 17 years.
Yes. Yeah.
And my goodness, what a 17-year trip this has been, right? The CSA has really expanded its wings, really kind of fulfilled the mission. But just when you think, what do they say? God laughs at man's plans.
Yeah.
Just when you think you've got your hands around things, something new comes out.
I was thinking of more Al Pacino and Godfather 3.
Okay.
Yeah.
When you're out, they pulled you back in.
Yeah.
Well, that too. Godfather, God.
Yeah.
Well, I guess it depends who you are.
That's right.
But anyway, first of all, let's get just an update on what's going on with CSA.
Yeah, absolutely. So, there is this aspect of cloud, where are we at with cloud? It's getting pretty mature. And honestly, it's a full 2/3 of our research and work and demands from the community is around what are we doing about AI, which is it's really merged with cloud now. It's
merged with everything.
Yep.
Everything has to be looked at, I think, through the lens.
Yep.
How does AI affect us?
Yeah. And so we're getting good indicators of what we think is going to happen next, and kind of how I would, if you wanted to characterize where we're at, it's like version 2 of our AI journey where now we're getting into, and it can be a buzzword, but agentic, meaning we're not just using the chat bots and going back and forth, but now we're trying to actually build autonomous systems. You got to figure out where the human in the loop needs to be. And so it's like all the building blocks, all the security best practices we need to do around that. That's probably the biggest single area we're focused on right now.
Got it. I just feel compelled to say that you've added a new analyst in residence over there. Mm-hmm. Our friend Rich Vogel.
Yep. Rich is a guy that it's like I hope he's not watching it, because he's a little bit of a Michael Jordan to me, and really being able to execute and think about things. He's helped so many different companies. You can't defend against him like Michael. And so he's our chief analyst. He meets with our corporate members. Here's what their strategy is, what their real pain points are, and kind of helps guide them. And we've got thousands of documents we've worked on over the years that a curation of those best practices can help organizations maybe a lot more than they think. But he's their navigator now, so we're pleased to have him, and
sure,
I like making.
I'm just thinking of the visual though. Rich Mogul, Mike Jordan, redhead. Well, they both don't have much hair these days. That's true. But I don't know if anyone's ever compared him to Michael Jordan.
Yeah, who's that?
Rich, if you're watching this, you heard it from Jim's mouth, not mine.
Yeah.
Anyway, let's get back to Cloud Security Alliance. We're here at this Qualys event, which is no longer the Qualys Security Conference, but is now ROCon, right? Risk Operations Center. Jim, how does this whole, managing risk was always at the heart of security anyway.
Yeah.
But how does the emphasis on risk management, you think, affect cloud security and cloud security practitioners?
Yeah, so, we've had some dominoes that have happened in the world, and people getting in trouble, and corporations not treating this right. And so they've gotten the message, CEOs, CFOs, they've gotten this message that cyber is not just some IT risk, it's overall corporate risk, financial risk, operational risk. And so we got the seat at the table. And the issue is translating how we operate our cloud securely to the right language and the right metrics that those groups understand. So we're getting more and more of the budget. We're getting more and more of that. Hey, you've got to be in the quarterly like audit committees. We need a cyber report, everyone. And they're asking better and better questions because they have some personal liability around this if they don't get it. And so, but we're still, I think there's some struggles between like people say, well, I want to talk about the CVEs that we've sort of mitigated and patched, or, these certain incidents, we stopped this certain phishing attack, and like, okay, what was the overall financial impact on the organization? Did it create any sort of delay in our ability to release new products and service the customers, things like that? So we're getting there, and like the better like CISOs, I think they understand how to translate that. But the cloud itself, it produces the answers are in the data somewhere.
Right.
It's like finding it.
The needle in the haystack or the needle in the needle, right?
And that's actually, and it kind of goes back to like some of what I saw Sumed here talk about in some of the new solutions and what we're seeing in the industries. Well, you can actually use some of the AI because it's a big data management problem to actually sort of surface like the information at the level that the board wants, as finding specific incidents, putting in the right context, and doing compliance. Like, hey, I can take like how we are compliant to one standard, put it into AI, and it'll at least give me a good 80%. This is how you comply to something else.
Sure.
And so,
Sure.
but yeah, so we're getting there.
Jim, how does, so you come here, look, Qualys has been a partner of the
From the beginning.
Cybersecurity Alliance right from day one. Yeah, just like day one. How do you take what you hear here and what you're seeing here, and how does that filter down to the membership of the Alliance? And I mean, look, the Alliance has, there's a ton of
Yep.
the vendors in this space, but there's a lot of end user practitioners.
Yep.
How does how do you filter this in? How does it become, part of the bedrock, if you
Yeah.
will?
Well, we've always sort of had this philosophy of like, let's have like a healthy, positive, symbiotic relationship between practitioners and the technology providers. There's a lot of like areas where it's pretty antagonistic,
Yeah.
and it's like, okay, we're gonna put them through the paces, and we're gonna like test them and be like very tough on them, and or we're not gonna allow the vendors into like meetings, which there's can be like some reasons where you do that. But this is where you get the information like on, when a company like Qualys, and there's definitely like several others, they aggregate so much data that they tend to see things before a lot of people are going to see it. So like we try to sort of create those communication lines. So, hey, you got to listen to what, doesn't mean you have to buy everybody's product, but you got to listen to the things that they're seeing and how they're tweaking their technology to address these issues. Because we got to be a lot more flexible and a lot more agile. So we try to like make it, hey, positive, fun, let's communicate. We're all first responders here, whether you're the practitioners or you're, a SOC that's managing a lot of different customers as well. So that's the philosophy.
I get it. Jim, we briefly talked, you and I beforehand, about RSA coming up. Of course, I saw you last at Black Hat. The CSA is ingrained into the industry.
Mm-hmm.
But as you sit here, it's we're coming into the end of 2025, and we are ears deep in this whole AI, agentic AI, and generative AI, and disruption, and data sovereignty, cloud sovereignty. There's so many issues you didn't think about in 2008, for sure. Right?
Yeah.
If I had to ask you to look in your crystal ball about the Cloud Security Alliance and where it's going, the next, not too far out, let's just say 18 months to 3 years, what do you think?
I think we're going to have to level up our game and be much more smart to to handle just how much more rapid we're going to see bad and good things too. And like, I'll give you an example. We've been struggling to like create course for AI, and we had this sort of breakthrough. Let's have the course just have these evergreen principles, and let's create prompts that you could run 2 years from now to say, hey, based on these evergreen principles you articulated, give me the latest knowledge that I need with the versions of, Chat GPT 8 or 9 or whatever it is. So like, I think CSA is going to be a lot of this AI with the human in the loop to kind of guide, like our white papers are going to get generated. Like I think next year they're going to be generated to a degree with AI, but then like tuned, but then we'll give like people like Rich Mogul we talked about, he'll be able to use that to say, I'm going to create guidance reports specifically for one company. I think we're going to see security, just like people are talking about, you're going to create with AI, you're going to create applications that are unique to a person. I think you're going to create like security solutions that are hyper customized, hyper localized. So I think we've got some opportunities on like the data sovereignty issues and all of these things. It's just, I wish we were more proactive because we're always like reactive.
I wish we were too, Jim, but you can't escape the laws of nature, and I think it's almost reactive.
Yep.
Until quantum comes in, then we could be proactive and reactive at the same time.
Schrodinger's cybersecurity. There you go.
Exactly. Jim, it's great seeing you. Man. Always keep up the great work. Good luck with CSA. Well, if worse comes to worse, I'll see you at RS.
Yes, for sure.
But maybe before.
Yeah. Love that.
Alrighty?
All right.
Actually, I think the folks have you scheduled me every month or two now for Techstrong TV.
Okay.
Not in person, but
yeah.
almost. It's you.
I'll do those. Okay. Although you smell fine in person. So.
I thank you. All right. Jim Reavis here on our Qualys ROCon coverage. I think we're taking a break for lunch. We'll be back in about a half hour, but we've got a full afternoon, so don't miss it. But for now, we're out. Techstrong TV.